Welcome back to Occupy the Media. I'm Jared Jacane Mayer, here holding down the encampment with FSTV Executive Director Don Rojas and news producer Marcy Miranda. 2012, a big election year, and in this segment we want to talk about the election issues that impact the 99%. Joining us today is Akane Freechild, a senior organizer with Public Citizen. Did I get your first name right? Is the first thing I want to know.
Akane Freechild, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us. And perhaps you've heard of the newest candidate to throw his paw in the ring for a vacant seat in the U.S. Senate. Let's take a look at this clip.
Hank wants your vote for Senate, but what do you really know about Hank? Hank has never released his birth certificate, his tax returns, and has never responded to allegations that he used catnip. He says he's gone to the vet, but there is no record of him serving in any military branch. Would Hank force females to undergo an ultrasound before being spayed? And should a Maine Coon really be running for Senate in Virginia? We need more facts and fewer fat cats in Washington.
So clearly this ad is satirizing other outrageous political attacks we see on TV, but does it highlight the problem of money in politics? And I'm not going to make you talk about Hank the Cat explicitly, because this brings up our bigger issue, which has to do with the Citizens United ruling and some really interesting things that are going on there in Vermont and Massachusetts. So can you tell us what happened up there?
Absolutely. We had the privilege of working with Vermonters in 65 towns, the number of partners, to pass basically ballot initiatives, town meeting resolutions calling for a constitutional amendment to overturn the Citizens United ruling and say, we do not want corporate money in our elections. We want citizens to be first in elections and citizen voices to be heard, not the voices of wealthy individuals and corporations.
And so Citizens United, of course, that was a Supreme Court ruling, and it's a federal issue, which would actually take changing the Constitution at the federal level to overturn. But focusing on local governments there with these resolutions, which really don't have an impact on the federal level, why do that?
Well, we're trying to build a movement here at Public Citizen, and with our partners in Vermont Move to Amend and Vermont PIRG. We really are looking to raise awareness at all levels. And the truth is that Citizens United affects all elections. It affects school board elections, local elections. Any corporation can now give unlimited amounts to advocate for or against a candidate in the kind of goofy ads you see for Hank. And that's drowning out the voices of small business owners and of actual citizens who have human concerns about how they want this country to be run.
So how many local governments now have passed these types of resolutions against Citizens United?
Over 100, including the 65 from Vermont. And we're also looking to work on the state level to build the movement and show that there are states to ratify this amendment should Congress pass it. We're working in Vermont at the state level as well as at the town level. We're working in California, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Mexico. At the beginning of the year passed a memorial calling for a constitutional amendment as well. But our biggest push at the moment is for city and town resolutions and ballot initiatives, and more than 1,000 towns have more than a few leaders working to pass resolutions by early June of this year.
With the ultimate goal of them building momentum toward what?
Towards a constitutional amendment to overturn the ruling and also question the amount of corporate power in our democracy, to put citizens first again. It's we the people, not we the corporations.
Okay, well, Don, I know you want to say something. If you could say it in 10 seconds before we move on.
Again, kudos to the people of Vermont and to Public Citizen. And I want to give special mention here to the leadership of Vermont's Senator Bernie Sanders, who has been exceptionally good on corporate personhood issues, and in Vermont, you know, the only senator, independent senator in the U.S. Senate.
Okay, so moving on, Occupy LA protesters are also celebrating a win in the battle against Citizens United. Marcy, what's the story behind this?
Occupy LA's worked really well with the City Council of Los Angeles to pass a couple of different resolutions, one of them being a resolution against corporate personhood. So I think the really interesting thing there is the relationship that the two have had, which has been pretty friendly, I think, and pretty successful, I think, is how Occupy LA likes.
Well, that's interesting, and you actually talked to Lisa Claypure from Occupy LA, so let's watch that interview now.
I think that the reason that we were so well received in the beginning was because we actually collectively made a choice as a group to actually not break the law. And what I mean by that is civil disobedience is very effective, but there's also a difference between erroneously breaking a law and standing up for a law that is not just or moral. And so in the beginning, as an example, there's a city ordinance that you can't camp on the city lawn. And so we honored that until we actually had permission to break that ordinance. And so that's just an example. I think that because we came forward with that level of integrity and let them know that we are good people and that we just wanted to see change and that we wanted to work with them, we were very well received. And they actually, the mayor at one point brought ponchos down to us on a very rainy day. Now, it's shifted a little bit because, of course, at some point he ordered an eviction of the encampment. But despite that difference, there still has been progress within the city council. And I think the reason we've had that kind of success is because for those reasons, we represented from the, the old saying that your mother teaches you, first impression is everything. I think that really did make a difference in our success.
All right, that was Lisa Claypure from Occupy LA talking with Marcy. And so, Akene, before we move on to calls, I want to get a quick comment from you. A resolution in LA, similar to the ones that had occurred there in New England, focusing on Citizens United. How significant is the fact that LA did this?
This is huge. Having both New York City and Los Angeles take action, some of the largest cities in the country, speak out on this issue, both inspires other cities, towns, and states to take action and encourages legislators at the federal level to take this seriously. And I urge your listeners to go to resolutionsweek.org and sign up to pass a resolution in your city or town, and we'll help you make that happen for you.
Okay, and we'll also drop that link on our Facebook and Twitter pages so that people can find that directly. It's now time for another mic check. Let's take some more calls from the 99%. Mic check, mic check. Okay, we have a caller on the line, Jennifer from Portland. You're on Occupy the Media.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call, and thank you so much for having the show.
Definitely. So do you have a question or comment for us?
I do. I have a lot of questions. My particular cause is Occupy the Family Courts, and I'm kind of curious as to why you never hear about any kind of injustices when it comes to the abuses done by CPS and DHS against single mothers. And I think everybody's kind of in agreement that a certain party has declared war on women. And it's just something that's really near and dear to my heart that, these family courts not be so secretive. People are allowed due process, which they're not. And you can lose your children without even committing a crime.
Okay, well, so Occupy the Family Courts is the name of the organization. All right, well, thanks a lot, Jennifer, for your call. A lot of different iterations that the Occupy movement has taken, focusing specifically on specific issues, but Occupy the Family Courts, is this something that we've heard about before?
It's not something that I've heard about, actually, but it's really interesting. I think she brings up a lot of really good points. I think that's what you were saying. One of the beauties of the Occupy movement is how it's allowed people to take this same rhetoric of occupying something near and dear to their hearts and really bringing attention to it in a way that people now kind of understand. When you say occupying the table or occupying this or that, people understand what you're trying to get to. And,
right.
Interesting.
I think that this shows how the brand Occupy, the Occupy brand, actually is owned by the 99%. So they can take it and model it and shape it to local struggles all over the country.
It's a testament to its flexibility as a movement, but also, as you said, a brand. It's not really locked in. People can take it and make it their own. We have another caller on the line, Maxine from Massachusetts. You're on Occupy the Media.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Are you taping this and then you put me on? Is that how it works?
You are on live on Occupy the Media right now, and so do you have a question or comment for us?
Oh, yeah. What is the message exactly that they're trying to get across? Because when you watch them on television, and a lot of them don't really have a specific reason why they're there, or they'll complain about somebody who makes more money or somebody who has a better opportunity or lifestyle. But my thing is, if you want to go occupy something to get a message out, that's one thing. But to be disruptive or disrespectful on the streets is not okay. And it's not okay for them to be damaging other people's property or blocking people from going, to school, work, or whatever. That's not okay.
Okay, and so Maxine, we're almost running out of time, but I want to give Akene a chance to address that. So thanks for your call. What's the message of Occupy? Is it too muddled for people to understand?
Well, I am certainly not a spokesperson for Occupy. There have been a number of Occupies involved with the movement to campaign for a constitutional amendment. Occupy Vermont was part of the work that we did in Vermont. Occupies all over the country helped with the anniversary of Citizens United in January, the second anniversary. So they've certainly been doing a lot of proactive policy work from our point of view, and we're greatly appreciated that.
Okay, Akene Freechild, a senior organizer with Public Citizen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
On Occupy the Media, we want to share your stories. So if you have a video you'd like to see on the program, email it to us or post it on our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick break, but first let's take a look at this video from the movement. What's the human cost of fueling our cars? Watch as toy soldiers raid a gas station.
Hello, I'm Antoinette June with another Occupy update. On March 15th, Occupy Denver will be holding a peace and nonviolence meeting. The meeting will be held at City O City at 5:30 p.m. For more information, please visit occupydenver.org.